Hi everyone. Welcome to the 2026 ICPSR Data Fair at LoveDataWeek, and we're happy to have you join us today for this presentation titled The ICPSR Summer Program for the Love of Research Methods. Well, let's get started. So today I'm going to talk to you about the summer program and our history, as well as our parent organization, ICPSR. We'll talk about what makes our program unique and the reasons that you might want to attend. We'll talk about our 2026 curriculum, which has over 90 classes scheduled for this summer. We'll talk about registration, our fees and discounts, as well as on-campus housing for in-person participants in our general sessions. We'll talk about scholarships. We offer a lot of scholarships. And then finally, towards the end, I'll talk briefly about our teaching assistant positions. And then at the end, we'll wrap it up with a Q&A if you have any questions that you would like to have answered. Again, you can submit those at any point throughout the presentation. So I'd like to start by introducing the summer program administrative staff. My name is Stephanie, and I am the assistant director of the summer program. I help with a lot of operations and logistics, as well as scheduling and other kind of event and admin support for the program. I've been working with the program for about 10 years, and I really love it and all the people that we train and have come teach. Today, I'm joined by Laura Zimmerman, who is our administrative assistant extraordinaire, who helps with many things behind the scenes to get everything up and running and make sure that it runs smoothly. And then she will also be helping with new global initiatives that we launch. So thank you for joining me today, Laura. Laura's going to be helping me triage questions as they come in. The summer program director, you'll see there on your screen, is Rob Franzese. He is a professor in political science at the University of Michigan, where he is the director of the program in international and comparative studies. And his research interests center on the comparative and international political economies of developed democracies, as well as related aspects of empirical methodology. He's been teaching in the summer program for a good number of years. There's also Scott Campbell. He's our communications coordinator. We have Leah Trapidze, who is our administrative assistant who helps with payments and faculty contracts. Sandy Zalmut is our business development director and then also our lead technical assistant. And we also have a small staff that comes on board every summer to help with computing and events. All of us work that you see on the screen work for the program year-round to support the program. So no matter what time of year you reach out, if you have questions or if you need support, there's going to be someone who can help you pretty quickly with whatever you need. So let's talk about the summer program and just dive very briefly into our history. We go back to 1963. We've been around for more than 60 years. At the time, there was an increasing interest and need for quantitative analysis and training among social scientists. And there was also a lack of faculty at that time who were teaching social methodology at institutions and universities here in the US. A lot of folks who were doing methodology, and there weren't a lot, but they were self-taught and they wanted to gain more formal training. So in 1962, a political scientist named Warren Miller worked to create ICPSR in order to share data from the American National Election Study. And then a year later, the program was launched with the aim of training social scientists in elementary research methods and survey research, as well as more advanced techniques for the time. We've grown throughout the years, throughout the last 6 decades, from training approximately 60 scholars during that first summer program to training currently about 1,000 scholars every summer. So on this slide, on your screen, you'll see a collage of group photos of the summer program throughout the years, including that very first cohort back in 1963. The summer program is a unit within ICPSR, which, if you're not familiar, is an international consortium of more than 800 academic institutions, including universities, colleges, community colleges, as well as other research organizations. ICPSR maintains the world's largest social science data archive with more than 350,000 files of research. We're quite proud of those. And we also host more than 20 specialized collections of data in everything from education, aging, social media, to criminal justice, substance abuse, terrorism, and many other fields. Our mission, broadly, is to provide leadership and training in data access and curation, as well as methods of analysis. That's the summer program for the research community. And then ICPSR, we're housed here in Ann Arbor, Michigan, on the University of Michigan campus. That's where we have our year-round office, and then also offer some in-person classes in the summer. So I'm going to pivot now to talking about the summer program and what makes us unique. And that starts with our curriculum, which is quite broad and diverse and really allows you to build a toolkit that's going to fit your research needs. Our curriculum includes more than 90 classes. It's going to include more than 90 classes this summer. It's that big because we really design it to meet the needs of everyone from students, including advanced undergraduates, up through graduate students, to postdocs, faculty, scholars, and other applied practitioners of all different skill levels and educational backgrounds. The summer program offers a lot of advanced and specialized courses that many participants say their home institutions don't offer on a regular basis, maybe only every 2 or 3 years, as they have sufficient enrollments to fill the courses, or maybe not even at all. Some universities also maybe only offer these specialized courses or statistics classes through, say, their computer science or stats departments. So a lot of individuals come to ICPSR in order to get applied training from the perspective of the social, behavioral, or health sciences. Our participants report that they like learning stats during the summer because they're free from the distractions that come up during the regular academic school year. We're proud to say our summer classes are kind of like a language immersion program where you get daily focused time to learn and be in the class and practice your skills with others who are in it. As one of our participants has told us, before coming to ICPSR, they had taken quantitative classes at their home institution, and they described those classes as being kind of very big picture. These classes covered a lot of topics in a short amount of time, just over the course of a semester. But by coming to ICPSR, this participant was able to supplement and deepen their quantitative training. As they told us, they really appreciated how the ICPSR courses allowed them to go really deep on a single method. And then finally, what's unique is you know that by taking classes during the summer, if you're a grad student, this is going to help you shorten your time to degree. So that's really important as well. So next up, about what makes us unique is our responsive instruction from our faculty. A few years ago, I was talking with an individual who was a TA and also a former participant in the program. And I asked him what he thought was unique about the summer program. And he said that it was really generally kind of rare to find teaching professors who are also great researchers and great teachers simultaneously. He noted that ICPSR, quote, puts a lot of time into finding the right professors for the right course, so that you, the participant, end up with professors who not only understand the material, but who love it as well. So that's really what makes our training unique. Our instructors teach because they want to, not because it's a required part of their job. Our instructors use and love the methods that they teach. More than one instructor that I've met throughout the years has actually been a former participant in the program. And they've spoken about how their time in the program was transformative to their professional career and how they wanted to teach in the summer program because it was a chance for them to pay it forward to the next generation of scholars and research in order to give those current students the mentorship and guidance that they received when they were in the summer program. So the result is our participants end up receiving really responsive instruction in the classroom or on Zoom. Our instructors welcome questions in their class, and then afterwards as well. Our instructors hold office hours in which our participants are welcome to go and talk with them about the class content or even their own research. In a lot of our classes, you're welcome to bring and use your own data. And the result is a really supportive and encouraging learning environment that features a lot of one-on-one guidance from the faculty and feedback as well. So finally, not only is the instruction responsive to your needs and background, but it's coming from leading experts in a variety of fields and academic disciplines. We have more than 100 instructors every summer, and they're all respected methodologists from across the US and some from around the world who are using and publishing the methods that they teach, often in top-tier journals in their field. Most importantly for us and for you, our instructors are capable and award-winning educators who are able to explain and demonstrate the methods to a diverse group of researchers and scholars. So they really take the time to deliver the course content in a way that's systematic and logical, but also accessible and engaging. So finally, I think what makes the program unique and which is worth noting to you is the opportunity to network with scholars from a variety of backgrounds and disciplines, which I've alluded to and mentioned briefly. And really, while you're here, especially if you're here in person, to build a robust scholarly community. Our participants and our faculty describe our learning environment as academically rigorous but laid back. It's a really supportive community, like I've said, in which there's a notable lack of hierarchy between our faculty, our TAs, and our participants. One participant, in fact, said that at ICPSR, it's kind of like you're at summer camp of old, where you're learning together and making friends. We really value connections and networking at the program. A lot of our classes feature group assignments or other collaborative work in which our participants are able to share ideas, discuss challenging substantive topics or policies, and then work together to find solutions on assignments or other work in their class. So as I mentioned, we train about 1,000 individuals every summer, and they represent a really wide range of institutions, disciplines, and backgrounds. In our classes, there are opportunities to meet and connect with people from your field who are from other universities across the US and around the world. But then there's also a lot of chances for interdisciplinary connections and insights as well. A lot of our participants have followed up with us after attending the summer program to say that their time here was transformative because they found a mentor, a research collaborator, or a co-author during their time at the program. They really were able to build a robust community of scholars that has served them for many years and decades into their professional careers. All right, so let's return to our curriculum and take a deeper dive into the classes that we offer. And I'm going to begin with our topical workshops. Our curriculum kind of broadly breaks down into two categories. We have our general sessions and our topical workshops. So I'll start with the topical workshops. In 2026, we have an exciting schedule of more than 50 topical workshops that we're going to offer from May through August. Each one of these topical workshops is going to provide rigorous and focused training in a specific methodological technique in just a few days, from potentially 4 days to 10 days, spread over 2 weeks. Some workshops, this is just a short list that we're going to offer in 2026, include Introduction to Network Analysis, Item Response Theory, Machine Learning, Causal Inference, Introduction to Mixed Methods Research, Qualitative Research Methods. That's right, we do qualitative training as well. Text Analysis, Generative AI and LLMs for social and political analysis, and also images as data. So that is just a handful of the more than 50 workshops that we'll offer this summer. As for their format, meaning like their modality and length, we break down our topical workshops into a quantity of instructional contact hours. That means the time that you're in the Zoom class and the instructor is teaching, lecturing. So our topical workshops either offer 20 contact hours or 40 contact hours. And this matters to you because the number of contact hours will determine how much the registration fee is. And I'll discuss fees a little bit later on in my presentation. For 2026, most of our topical workshops are going to be offered online only. When participating online, you can choose to live stream the daily lectures with the instructor via Zoom, or you can choose to watch the lecture recordings asynchronously after they're done at a time that suits you, or you can actually do both. Our topical workshops can range in length from 3 days, so they might meet Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday of a week and be done, or they can range and link to 5 days or 10 days, meaning they meet Monday through Friday for a week or for 2 days or for 2 weeks. And they'll be sure, all of them, to include a lot of breaks so that you don't get that dreaded Zoom fatigue. We will have a handful of what we call dual mode or hybrid format workshops in which you can choose to attend either online or in person. These dual mode workshops with an in-person option will be held in Ann Arbor, Michigan on the University of Michigan campus. And then finally, kind of regardless of the format or how long the workshop is, they're going to feature extended access to lecture recordings and then the workshop materials through December 31st, unless noted otherwise. There's maybe a couple of workshops that won't feature that extended access, but all the rest do. So participants in our topical workshops, we like to say the modal participant, tends to be advanced graduate students, postdocs, faculty, other researchers, or applied practitioners. Our topical workshops are really well suited for anyone who needs really in-depth and intensive instruction in a specific method, just in a short interval of time. With each workshop, enrollment is typically capped at 25 people per workshop. And then finally, we offer what we call sponsored workshops. A sponsored topical workshop is going to focus on or explore a specific substantive topic or a specific data set that ICPSR has. Examples include the population assessment of tobacco and health, or the PATH study, the panel study of income dynamics, or the PSID study, and then the Monitoring the Future, or MTF project. These workshops are typically offered by an archive or a project here at ICPSR. And because they're sponsored by that archive, they tend to be free to admitted applicants or only require a very, very reduced registration fee of, say, $100. But because they're free, they do require an application and are competitive to get into. All of those sponsored workshops are going to be posted with the rest of our topical workshops and our topical workshop schedule on our website. So I'll say that it's probably a little bit overwhelming to think that there's over 50 workshops and you're wondering, how do I choose the one that's going to be the best fit for me? So when you go to our registration portal, we're going to provide a standard kind of set of information for each topical workshop. And that's going to include, of course, the dates and times. You're going to get a syllabus for the course that's going to give you a roadmap of what to expect. You'll learn the goals as well as the learning outcomes for the workshop, the intended audience, who should take the workshop, who's going to be best suited, as well as any prerequisites, knowledge, or training that you would need in order to benefit the most from the course. The difficulty level, which could range from beginner up through intermediate to advanced, or even suitable for all levels. Any software that's used in the class. And I'll note and say that for all of our topical workshops, we provide any required software to the participants free of charge for the duration of that workshop. And then, of course, we'll have information about the instructor and the bio as well, and then the number of contact hours that workshop offers. Even with all that information, if you still have additional questions about our topical workshops and what would be best suited to you, you're always welcome to reach out to the summer program staff and ask if we can help provide further guidance to you, kind of depending on your previous training or research background or data that you might have that you need to learn how to analyze. All right, so let's move on to talking about the other half of our curriculum, and that is our general sessions. Our general sessions are a comprehensive methods training program that comprise more than 40 classes. The general sessions offer foundational training in research methods, including computation, formal theory, basic stats and regression, as well as specialized training in a really diverse array of the most advanced and cutting-edge methodological techniques, including machine learning, text analysis, network analysis, and more. We offer 2 general sessions every year. The first session in 2026 is going to run from Monday, June 8th through Thursday, July 2nd. And then the second session will run from Monday, July 6th through Friday, July 31st. Classes in those general sessions are going to meet daily, Monday through Friday. When it comes to the classes, we further kind of group them into two categories. So we have our general session methods courses, and then our math and computing lectures. The methods courses are going to feature a full semester's worth, or about 40 instructional contact hours of really intensive instruction in a specific method or technique, like Bayes or network analysis or multi-level models. And then we have our lectures, our math and computing lectures, which are going to provide about 20 hours worth of instructional contact in math, calculus, and also computing software such as R, Python, and others. So when you register for a single general session, say the first session or the second session, you can enroll in up to 4 methods courses in that session, as well as unlimited any and all math and computing lectures that are offered in that session. In each general session, we offer a mix of introductory and advanced methods courses. But then we also sequence our training from the first session to the second session so that you can take an intro course in the first session, say on Bayes or network analysis, and follow it up with a more advanced course on one of those topics in the second session. Our math and computing lectures are going to meet during the first week of each general session, Monday through Friday. And then weeks 2 through 4 of each general session will be when we hold those methods courses. We're thoughtful about this. We've structured the classes this way, lectures followed by courses, so that you get a chance to learn the math and computing skills that you need before you dive into your methods training. Oh, sorry. I jumped ahead. All right. Let me come back to where I need to be. So what's unique about our general sessions? I said you can register for up to 4 methods courses plus the unlimited math and computing lectures. Our goal with that is to let you build a schedule that is really going to benefit and suit you based on your previous training and then also your current research needs or future goals. And what's really unique about the program and the general sessions is that you get to make changes to your general session schedule after the session has begun. You'll have the opportunity to meet with one of our instructors before the general session starts and get some guidance on your course selections and schedule. And then even when the session has started and you sit in, say, in a class on structural equation modeling and it's too advanced for you and you'd like to take a step back and hop into another class, you can still make those changes to your schedule during the first few days of each general session. With our general session classes, there are no enrollment caps or limits, so you don't have to worry about the classes filling up. When registering for a general session, you can register just for a single session, say the first session, or just the second session. You aren't required to attend the first session in order to attend the second session as well. And then, of course, you can register for both if you would like to take both general sessions. As for the format, all of our general session classes are going to be offered in this hybrid or dual mode format where they're offered both in person and online. All of our general session lectures and courses are held on the University of Michigan campus in Ann Arbor. And then for online participants, you can choose to stream the lectures online via Zoom or watch the lecture recordings asynchronously. And then finally, just like with our topical workshops, all of our participants will have extended access to the Zoom recordings and the class materials for their general session classes through December 31st of the year that they attend. So a little bit more about our general sessions because it is a lot. Outside of our daily class meetings, all of our general session classes are, all of the instructors and the TAs for them will hold daily office hours. We encourage all of our participants, whether you're in person or online, to go to office hours, meet your instructors, ask questions about what you're learning, or just even go and talk about your own research and ask questions about your dissertation. You can do that. Um, as for those who are attending our general session, we have about 300 participants in each general session. Most of them tend to be graduate students, including masters and PhDs, but we also have some advanced undergraduates who are looking to get a leg up on their statistical training before starting grad school. We also have postdocs, junior faculty, and then even faculty who have been out of school maybe for years or decades. The commonality is that we just have people who need to come and really kind of build a broad, yet also deep skill set for themselves. Our general session participants come from dozens of countries, I think more than 30 different countries, and they represent between 30 and 40 different disciplines across the social and behavioral sciences, as well as we get people from the medical sciences, engineering, law, journalism, and more. You might be wondering, should you attend in person or online? And of course, there's going to be advantages to each format. We find that online participation is well suited to those who have families or work or other obligations that prevent them from coming to Ann Arbor for a month or two. If you're online, you're still going to have access to all the course lectures and other materials during the course and after it ends. And then, of course, you can also meet with your instructors and TAs in daily office hours. And we have opportunities to get to connect with your fellow peers through Slack or other virtual meeting groups. There are a lot of benefits for in-person participants as well. When you attend in person, you have the opportunity to really focus on your classes and shut out distractions much better than you were if you were at home. I think we all know this. And by coming to Ann Arbor, you're able to prioritize your learning in a way that some of our virtual participants tell us that they struggle to do. And then as a perk, we offer a lot of social events with food for our in-person participants. These include weekly coffee and donuts meetings, networking lunches, picnics, other social events. And then, of course, our participants organize their own social groups and study groups on their own outside of class. Countless participants who have come to the general sessions have told us that attending in person is kind of like coming to a fun stats camp where they get to spend day after day getting to know what they affectionately call like other data nerds. So it's a really fun, vibrant learning environment, and we encourage you to come in person if you can. So let's talk about registration and fees for the program. Registration is now open for all 2026 classes. In order to register for a class, you'll have to go to our summer program registration portal, fill out the form, and provide your name and contact information, as well as some educational and demographic information. And then you select the courses that you want to take and pay for them. And that's it. There's no transcripts or other documentation required unless you're applying for one of those sponsored topical workshops that I mentioned earlier, in which case you'll have to submit an application that typically includes a cover letter or CV. So as I mentioned, close to the beginning of our presentation, ICPSR is a consortium with more than 800 members. And these members include universities, foundations, government institutions, nonprofits, and many more. So on your screen, you'll see a table listing our registration fees for both our topical workshops and for our general sessions. The registration fee that you will pay depends on whether you are currently affiliated with an ICPSR member institution or not. So if you are a current student, faculty, staff, or other researcher at a member institution, you qualify for that discounted registration fee for participants from ICPSR member institutions. So for individuals affiliated with an ICPSR member institution, our topical workshop registration fee can range from $1,675 to $1,995. And the differences in those pricing are going to depend on whether you pay your registration fee before April 1st, and then also the number of contact hours that are offered for that topical workshop. If you're not affiliated with an ICPSR member institution, reach out to us and let us know, and we can let you know what pricing looks like. We want to make sure that your institution is a member. But if you're not, then you would pay the non-member registration fee, which for a single topical workshop is going to range from $2,975 to $3,525. As for our general sessions, the member registration fee is going to range from $2,725 to $4,375, depending on whether you register for one or both general sessions. And again, whether you pay before April 1st, because as you'll see, on April 1st, all of our registration fees increase. And then for individuals who are not affiliated with a member institution, the general session registration fee is going to range from $4,975 to $8,425. Another reminder, when you register for a general session, the pricing for that is kind of like a buffet, because you pay that single fee and then it allows you to take up to 4 methods courses plus those unlimited lectures in that session. As for registration deadlines, we do have those. The deadline to register for a general session tends to be about 10 days before the first day of that session. And then the deadline to register for a topical workshop is going to be the Wednesday evening prior to the start date of that workshop. However, like I said, our topical workshops have enrollment caps and some of them will fill. So if you wait too long to register, there's a chance that there might not be a seat or a spot for you in that workshop. Finally, we offer discounts on our registration fees, including a discount for returning participants, a discount if you enroll in 2 or more topical workshops or a topical workshop in a general session, and then a group discount for academic departments or programs. And then we also have an on-campus housing discount that I'll talk about a little bit later. For more info about all the discounts and our fees, please visit our registration page on our website at www.icpsr.umich.edu/sumprog. So let's talk about scholarships. In 2026, we are offering more than $400,000 in student scholarships. With these scholarships, our goal is to remove financial barriers to participation and increase access to statistical methods training for students of all different backgrounds. I expect that this year we will award more than 100 different scholarships, so it's quite a lot. ICPSR scholarships cover the registration fee for our general sessions, and then also one of the scholarships, the OWIN, can be used to cover the registration fee for a topical workshop, but all the rest of them are for the general sessions. Our scholarships are open to students, including undergraduates, masters, and PhD in disciplines across the social sciences, including sociology, political science, public policy, education, and several other disciplines. A few of our scholarships are also open to pre-tenure scholars and early career academics. And then additionally, we also offer 3 categories of scholarships: our Opportunity, our Miller, and the McCune Scholarship, which, in addition to providing a registration fee waiver to the general sessions, also offer financial support for in-person participation, including room and board on the University of Michigan campus. Our scholarships, almost all of them, are open to international students. Each scholarship is going to have its own set of eligibility criteria. So when you go to our website, you'll want to make sure that you read the description for each, because it does vary depending on the scholarship. You can apply for more than one ICPSR scholarship. You can apply for any and all for which you're eligible, but you'll need to submit separate applications for each one. And then, of course, you're welcome to use the same letter of recommendation for different scholarships so that your letter writers don't have to keep writing separate letters. In order to apply, You need to fill out the application form through our online scholarship application manager and then submit all of the application materials. In most instances, this is going to include a CV, a single letter of recommendation, and a cover letter. We are now accepting applications for all of our scholarships. Our portal is open. All of the application materials, including the letters of recommendation, are due by 11:59 p.m. Eastern on March 1st, 2026. And then I expect that we'll make decisions about who is receiving the awards in mid to late March. So we offer teaching assistant positions for graduate students. Our TA positions provide invaluable pedagogical experience for grad students that they can take into future teaching positions at colleges and universities. It's a really great opportunity to work alongside a summer program faculty member, and then also to get to meet and connect with our diverse and international constituency of participants. And then some of our TAs go on to become instructors. I want to note that we are no longer accepting applications for our TA positions for 2026, but I'm just putting this on your radar because we hire for them for every year. So if you are interested in applying for 2027 or for future years, please make a note that you should check back to our website in early January of 2027 or whichever year it is, because that's when we will post and announce our TA positions for that year. So early January, check back and we'll hire. Every year, I'll speak kind of briefly about the TA positions. We have more than 30 TA openings that we need to fill. Our TA positions are assigned to our general session methods, courses, and lectures. All of our TAs will be expected to work in person in Ann Arbor. There are no virtual or remote positions. And our TAs are expected to work up to 40 hours a week during the general session that their class is scheduled. For 2026, the compensation is about $42 an hour for our TAs. So typical responsibilities for our TAs include helping the instructors with the preparation and presentation of class materials and lectures, of course, meeting with the instructors, attending the daily class lectures and answering participant questions, holding office hours for the participants, holding lab sessions or other supplemental learning sessions, and then evaluating work and grading assignments. As for the qualifications, they include being currently enrolled in a PhD program or just kind of shortly from graduation, having a master's degree or an equivalent combination of education and experience, of course, having experience with quantitative research skills, having experience with statistical computing software, having great communication skills, both oral and written, in the English language, good interpersonal skills. We like if you have past experience as a TA, but it's not mandatory. And then, of course, you're going to need knowledge and command of the skills and material that's relevant to the courses that you're interested in helping with. Our application materials include a cover letter, CV, letters of recommendation, past evaluations for any courses that you might have helped with, and then a transcript. So I'll talk briefly about on-campus housing. We have on-campus housing available for our first and second general sessions. This housing is located in a student dorm on the University of Michigan Central Campus, and it's going to be within walking distance of all your general session classes. We have a great discount, 10% off your general session registration fee if you purchase on-campus housing. It's just kind of an extra incentive and break to get you here to come attend classes in person. All participants who are in the on-campus housing will be grouped together on the same floors, which just gives you another chance to get to know and spend time with your fellow attendees. As for the rooms themselves, they are single rooms with air conditioning. They come with a bed, linens, dresser, desk, and chair. On each floor, there's a community bathroom. And the bathrooms are separated by gender. And then you can also request to live on a floor that is restricted to a single gender as well, if you'd like. In 2026, the rate for a single room is approximately $61 a night. And I want to note that on-campus housing is not included in our general session registration fee. That's going to be a separate charge. If you're in on-campus housing, you'll have access to the dorm community kitchen. And then you can also eat on campus in the dining hall or at other commercial food vendors across campus. We recommend on-campus housing because it's convenient, it's reliable, and like I said, it's a great way to connect with your fellow participants. But we also, if you're looking for off-campus housing, if dorm life doesn't sound like it's quite for you, we offer guidance on how to find off-campus housing on your own as well. So more information about all of the things that I've talked about today is posted on our website. Again, that's www.icpsr.umich.edu/sumprog. If you go to the homepage of our website, you'll find a link to subscribe to our email list. If you sign up for our email list, we'll send you notifications when you can apply for scholarships or for TA positions. And like I said, we'll notify you of any other important goings on with the program, including when registration opens or if we have sponsored workshops that you can apply for. And if you have any other questions that you can't find the info to on our website, or if it's a little unclear to you, of course, please reach out to us via email. You can email us at ICPSR-sumprog, that's SUMPROG @umich.edu. So let's see if there's any outstanding questions that my colleagues haven't been able to answer. And feel free, if you haven't already, to submit your questions using the Q&A button in your Zoom dashboard.
Stephanie, we got a question from someone asking about our current TA applications, when they might expect to hear back about their application.
Great question. As Laura and I both know, we're currently working on those. I anticipate that decisions will go out in early March. So we still at least need at least a couple more weeks, 2 to 3 more weeks.
We've got another question in the Q&A asking that they're planning to graduate from their PhD program in July 2026, and they're asking if it would still be possible to apply for any of the scholarships as a student for the first general session.
Absolutely. Yep, please do. Well, if we don't have any more questions, I want to thank you again for joining us today for this presentation. It's been a delight to have you here and have you interested in the summer program. And if you think of something later, you're always welcome to reach out to us via email or phone. Just let us know how we can help you. And we hope that you'll be able to join us this summer. So again, thank you for joining us. Take care out there, be well, and yeah, keep doing the good work, everyone.